Hello and welcome to Safety Wars for Thursday, May 21st, 2026. I'm getting the camera adjusted here. Okay, we're good. So we have an announcement before we get our begin here. And today we are proud to announce a web-based series. As usual, it's a Safety Wars type bent on here. We'll see how long this goes. I have several of these ready to go. We plan on releasing 1 or 2 episodes a week via social media. And if you are on our distribution list, and you know who you are if you're on that distribution list. So this is Ancient Safety Professionals. We are going to release the trailer here, and then we are going to release the trailer, play it right here, and then we're going to play episode 1. So we're hoping this to be a regular feature here, and here is the trailer for Ancient Safety Professionals.
In the year 3000, archaeologists excavate the ruins of the former United States and discover the remains of a mysterious ancient tribe. Safety professionals. They find hard hats, clipboards, sign-in sheets, slogans, dashboards, binders and posters warning people about hazards everyone could already see. Were these people building safer systems or worshipping safety theatre? This is Ancient Safety Professionals, brought to you by Safety Wars.
And here is episode 1.
Coming up next, we celebrate songs from one of the greatest years in music, my personal favorite year in music. These songs were huge back in the day, but decades...
rituals. Among the most sacred was the ritual of the sign-in sheet. Archaeologists now believe the ancient people thought that writing one's name on paper created safety. The document itself was believed to possess mystical powers. If inspected by regulatory officials, the tribe could present the sheet as evidence that safety had occurred.
Watch your pinch points, stay hydrated, PPE at all times, sign the sheet.
Historians remain uncertain whether information was actually transferred during these ceremonies. Curiously, despite perfect paperwork, incidents continued to occur.
The ancient safety culture often confused documentation with operational control.
The lesson for modern civilization is clear. Safety is not created by signatures. It is created by systems, planning, communication, and reality-based controls.
For more thought-provoking discussions on safety, human performance, and where the plan meets reality, tune into Safety Wars on your favorite podcast and videocast platform, because there's a war on for your safety.
Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
So what did you think? You're going to have those little things. So what's the reasoning behind this? What's the reason? One, as everyone knows, I get ideas in my head. And I say, no, I can't get them out of the head until I go and I do them. I bring it to fruition. And that was one of them. I came out with this concept about a month and a half ago. I said, you know what? Let's work on this. Let's think about it. And that's what we got. They're ancient safety professionals. So we have about 10 episodes here planned out. But we have up to like another 16, something like that. So this is going to be a short run series. And what do we do? Yeah, you know, we're a smaller show here. I get it. We're not as big as some of the other shows. And you're always trying to come up with new ideas that are unique that you could like brand and things of that nature. And, you know, that's what we're about here. But what we're doing here is we could go ahead and have debates. Now, by the way, there's going to be one very near future. I haven't promoted it. I'm going to start promoting it with Jay Allen down on July 13th. It's a Monday down in Orlando, Florida. With let me pull up the website here. Hold on. On Signal Transmission, where they're going to have two people here. One, if you're a listener here, you are familiar with him. That is Todd Conklin. The other one you're going to have here is the let's get this here. Hold on. Jay, where is this? Call this events. Okay, so we're going to put this up here on your event here. It's an observational symposium. Let me share the screen. It's called Reality Shift, an observational symposium, and with 3 speakers, really stand-up guys here. We got Nick Weatherly, who I have not interacted with, but I understand he's a very great guy, great presenter. Everything else, you'll learn something when you listen to him. And then you have Todd Conklin, which we know Todd Conklin on this show. Somebody says, you know, you're saying a lot of stuff like Todd Conklin. Do you know him? I said, do I know him? I went to Disney with him. And the third one is Jay Allen in the Signal Trilogy, which we talked a lot about when his book came in. And here it is. Came out last year, and the audiobook. Please note, this is strictly a live in-person event in Orlando, Florida. The speakers will be physically presenting on stage in the room with you. There is no virtual attendance or live stream available. Reality Shift, an observational symposium. This is not a concept, a certification course, or a debate. Reality Shift is one day strictly live, in-person symposium designed for professionals who want to step back from the daily doing to focus on, pardon me, I'm opening up some soda here, some deep thinking. This is also not a rehash of the old Hop versus BBS arguments of the past. We are not here to watch frameworks fight for dominance or debate, which model is superior. We are here for synthesis. So it's going to be hosted in a private theater setting, provide a distraction-free cinematic experience. Our speakers are not pre-recorded. There are no Q&A interruptions. No, I'm going to have to sit there bound and gagged here to get me not to say anything. But you know what? I could do it. I think I could do it. Just three distinct live perspectives on the systems that govern our work and the friction of human behavior. So we have 4 presentations here. Live on stage is Systemic Perspective by Todd Conklin, where he's going to talk about Hop and how he frames systemic reality. Then we have the behaviors perspective. Nick Weatherly, PhD, provides a behavioral lens, looking at the mechanics of human action, VBS, within those systems. On screen, we will transition to a private screening of a high-concept documentary. This immersive film serves as a visual metaphor for the illusions of control and systemic friction in a complex organization. And then we're going to have our leader here, Jay Allen, PhD. The Signal Integration closes the day by bridging these foundational frameworks of the Signal Trilogy, moving from established theory to the critical signals we often miss the noise. Right? So basically, we're not doing a hotel and ballroom. We're going to be in a table-seated environment. This sounds, I have not looked into this, but this sounds like a, you're going to be able to order food and meals. And, this is an alcohol-free, son of a gun, alcohol-free. No, I'm only joking there. This is an alcohol-free, professionally focused event. Food and beverage costs are not included in the ticket price. So come early, enjoy the weekend in Orlando. The symposium is on Monday, July 13th, 9 to 5. I am scheduled to go there. So if you want to see Safety Wars, You want to talk about safety wars? Want to meet you? I'm there, but let me get back to what I'm doing here with this. So that's what Jay is doing. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, meeting everybody again, seeing you there. Second thing is, why are we doing the ancient safety professionals? Everybody is into this thing here with, BBS, HOP, or HOP, good, bad. And then you get in here, and yet there is one guy on LinkedIn that, stalks us. Right? Well, you are not nice because you don't believe in BBS. There is no HOP and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, most companies deal with both. If you want to deal with people and you want to be an effective safety person, you're living in both worlds here. The problem is, like Jen Coffey and I were talking about, I don't know if it made it to the interview, is these freaking extremes. Here. We can't work on common issues together. What's our point? Our point is to help and to support the employee, the managers. With us, we talk about society here, safety in our society, our systems, public policy. Can't we all work together? No, I'll use a quote from royalty, right? Can't we all just get along? Right? A king said that at one time, as I recall. Anyway, with this, but you need both. Most organizations are both. So why are we doing this? Ancient safety professionals. The reason is real simple and succinctly, unlike what we normally do here, is we cannot be effective continuing to argue. We can't do it. Can't do it. But what can we do? We can use sarcasm. We can use comedy, and that's what I am. I'm a comedian, ask anybody. We can use comedy to expose what we're doing and maybe think about it. So that's what the whole thing is. So we started out here with the sign-in sheet. And what's the idea? Well, how many times have we been on the job and we hand someone a sign-in sheet? Here, sign this. It's a safety meeting today. It's a toolbox talk. It's the job hazard analysis. It's the AHA, whatever we're calling it on that project. Here, now we're safe. And then what happens? There's a problem. What's the first piece of paperwork they're all asking for? Come on, everybody. If you're working with some real winners, you'll have a guy there having a freaking seizure, and they'll be like, Jimmy, make sure that you get him a drug test. We think he's having withdrawals or something. Really? Maybe the guy's having a major medical issue. Please leave. I'm not going to interrupt the EMTs and the paramedics here. Asking for drug tests. Somebody got hurt on the site. Whoa, did he sign in on that safety meeting? Did he actually, did he sign it? Well, he didn't sign it. Well, guess what? That's a leading indicator that you're not doing your job, and he's an evil person because he's supposed to know what he's doing, and shame on him. How many times does that happen on the job? Oh? Let's expand this a little bit, because, I remember one of our early episodes, way back, and I had something record, and it was during COVID, record this for your posterity, because this is all knowledge that 100 years from now, God willing, we never have another pandemic, but these things seem to run about 100 years, roughly. Unless you're a conspiracy theorist, then everything is a pandemic, right? Be careful. Be mindful. And now with the current hantavirus and Ebola now, people are like, now they're a little bit, they remember. People out there, how are we going to manage this? So learn how to manage this. Let's remember how it was during the whole COVID thing. They had incorporated, meaning the managers, meaning the CDC, meaning the way the companies manage things, the way that us in the safety industry manage things, they get into this whole, and it's going to be episode 2 of Ancient Safety Professionals, the zero accident sign. You know, you've seen it. It's all over the place. You go into like you go into a store, like a warehouse type store. We've worked X number of days without a lost time injury, without this, without that. And as I always point out, it's without a recorded lost time injury. Just what recorded on that, without a reported near miss. Without, right? Because this, we know this stuff happens when even the best organization, right? The reporting process sometimes is so onerous, and you have to find out the 5 whys, right? What that? Why did this happen? Why? Right? The Socratic method, or if you're under 40, Socrates method. You have to go through this whole thing, and shame on you. Remember during COVID, well, so-and-so got COVID. Well, he got COVID. Why did he get COVID? He got COVID because he did not follow procedures. Why did he not follow procedures? He didn't want to wear the PPE. Why didn't he want to wear the PPE? Because somebody on TikTok and Instagram told him it was ineffective. Why did they say it was ineffective? Because they didn't actually have any experience or any knowledge on PPE and everything. And the safety professionals dropped the ball at the CDC and in here on the use. And how do we define? And why? Because they didn't define what safety was. Safety is capacity. Safety is resilience. Right? So they, and shame on those people. They weren't wearing PPE. They weren't washing their hands. It was something that they did. They didn't follow procedures, and therefore they're a bad employer. Shame on you. You're bad and you're evil. Right? So where am I going with this? Well, this is where I'm going with this. You cannot argue with that mentality. You can't do it. You can't do it. So what do we choose to do? We choose sarcasm, sometimes ridicule, and you make a joke out of it to get these people to think. To try to lodge that, right? You can't do other things, right? Because they're illegal as shit. But you can say, look, your system, we question the whole system, we question your whole attitude. Yes, number one, we have to be concerned with protecting the worker and protecting the public. We're going to worry about recordability later on. Let's make sure that these people are safe. Let's make sure if they do get injured or they do get sick, they are taken care of. Don't be so quick, right? Because this is where because this is where this is headed, right? Oh, well, Jim, you sound like you're conspiratorial. Now, I had a talk with my son yesterday. He's 14 now. Right? And I said, now that you're getting older, you're no longer a child. Right? You're an adolescent, some would say young adult. And as we know, as men, I'm going to be a little bit, I might be accused of being chauvinistic here. That's okay. Men, fathers, male figures, leaders have to step up. And I said to him, James, I said, one of these days, and I sounded like Buddy Ebsen from the Beverly Hillbillies, one of these days we're going to have a long talk on the way things are. So, or you can listen to my show. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you right now the way it is. The way things are going with this blame culture that many people embrace, rather than restorative justice, understanding people, fixing the system, right? My faith tradition, Lutheranism, we all try to, you're good enough, right? That's if you're gonna summarize Lutheranism, this entirety and totality in one sentence or one phrase, you're good enough. God loves you. You're good enough the way you are, right? You're not beyond reach of God. If we start going the other direction, where we're going to blame them, well, you're bad because you committed this crime. Why? Rather than say, well, why did that person do the crime? If we're going to continue to put 4 million plus, I think this is in prison all the time. If we're going to get into this, and it's already happening. Government hasn't done it yet, but private organizations have a social credit score. We're going to continue down that road, and this lame culture, we're completely bleeped. We're completely bleeped on this. Because what's going to happen? Eventually, we're going to have single-payer health care in the United States. Other countries have had single-payer health care. And it's going to be your value to the society on one hand, and it's going to be on the other hand, your cost to society. And if you don't go up and get with the program, right? You don't go up and get with the program, there's going to be consequences. So in the mid-1990s, I believe it was 96, 97, President Bill Clinton visited Woodbridge, New Jersey. Right up the street. My dad, it had to be after 95. Yeah, he has, I still own it, a 96 Mongoose Threshold. All original. Right? When he passed away, I got his bike. And unfortunately, my bike, we had the same bike. Mine bit the dust about 2 years ago. But his, all original. And he took it, so it had to be after 95, maybe 96, 97. And he rode, and he went up the street because Bill Clinton was at Woodbridge High School. Mr. Bell, who was one of our neighbors, was the principal, and his daughter was a student there, and they ended up on the front page of the News Tribune, I believe it was that day, and everything. And they started the anti-smoking campaign, which has largely been successful because they wanted to eradicate smoking. Now, let's see what they have done to eradicate smoking here. It went into, and this is not made up. They paid people in the news media, sitcoms, news programs, documentaries, the popular press of that time to have anti-smoking ads. And it's been largely successful because now it's like nobody's smoking. And in Great Britain, they actually made it illegal if I believe you're under 19 to purchase, if you were born, whatever it is, 2007. So if you were born 2007 or sooner, you have a lifetime ban on smoking. And then eventually smoking is going to, go wither on the vine. Tobacco companies are going nowhere, by the way. We had a program of a former marketing person from a large tobacco company and supplier who said to me many years ago, hey, they ain't going away. They already got the business plan made up. You got to have tobacco companies all out there with this. But where am I going with this? Now it's going to be, well, you're a smoker. It's 2030. Why are you smoking? You know smoking is bad for you. So guess what? You're going to pay a penalty for that. You're already paying a penalty. Where are you paying the penalty? I can guarantee it. Privately, you're having increased insurance premiums. Also, you go in for a questionnaire. Again, surveillance state. American Community Survey. Are you a smoker? If it's not on here now, it'll be on there in the future. Are you a smoker? How many packs a day do you smoke? Well, what do you do? Well, then guess what? Your social credit score sucks, and you're not going to be eligible for certain jobs. You're not going to be eligible for certain careers. Oh, and by the way, you're not going to get, because you don't care about your health, you're not going to get the health care that you need. And you know what? Shame on you. You're to blame for your situation. Don't believe me? Then you haven't been to a doctor lately. At least a reputable doctor, possibly. What about with diabetes? 1 in 5 people are diabetic now. Or pre-diabetic. Either diabetic or pre-diabetic with type 1 or type 2. Most commonly type 2 diabetes. Well, obviously you didn't care about your health. So guess what? We're not going to give you that care that you need because you're not invested. Shame on you. The GLP-1s have been changed that, right? You can go have a look what the GLP-1 medications are. A little bit. Oh, you're not managing your diabetes? Oh, well, then guess what? We don't care about you. You're not making an effort. And because right now, you're going to say, well, what proof do you have? Companies, large companies, and even a lot of smaller companies have what are called wellness campaigns. And you have to fill out a survey. And if you don't participate, well, you're not with the program. You're not supporting the program. Shame on you. And guess what? If you think that's not going to go into your annual review, guess what? It will. It will end up there. It may not be official, but, as we know, they have They have a thing called Post-it notes, right? That'll go in your file. Because we do know that HR not only keeps electronic files, they also keep paper files. So it's a little bit harder to uncover during discovery. If there's a lawsuit or a regulatory agency comes in there, well, shame on you. You're not participating in that. Oh yeah, this is what's going on here, and this is not a conspiracy. We already see this going on and on and on and on. We're okay with that. That's what the blame culture does, and it's very easy to go into and get involved in the blame culture. Extremely easy. You didn't pass that test? Well, that's because you didn't study hard enough. You didn't get a college degree? Well, that's because you didn't study enough. And now you're going to be relegated to a second-class or third-class citizen. We have Memorial Day coming up on Monday and Veterans Day on November 11th. Oh, you went into the military? Rather than build your capacity elsewhere? Well, nobody here went into the military, so therefore you're to blame because you have all these problems. PTSD, they did medical experiments on you. Oh, yeah, the military admitted up till 1975 that they did experiments on the people. I don't believe it ended in 1975, and I have personal experience with this. Oh, yeah. You want the blame culture? That's where we're going. Now, how do we stop the blame culture? Through this show, I try to do this with education. We also have, something that they can't debate. They can't debate sarcasm. They can't debate, they may not like it. They can't debate, people can't debate humor, sarcasm, ridicule. There's no defense about it. I get ridiculed all the time. Very little defense you can do about it. Only way, right? So what's the moral of this story? Just check back with us. We're going to have 1 or 2 episodes a week of ancient safety professionals. We're going to be building a brand on there. And we're going to continue on here. We're going to continue on. I hope to see everybody in July. And that's what we got here. That's what's going on. We're going to take a commercial break and go into some government press releases. And, there's a lot of stuff going on there. EPA released a flurry of press releases yesterday on lead, and we'll talk about that.
Safety Wars is streaming now.
SafetyFM.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hackneyed? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Poesl at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces. Signal Trio here for Jay Allen.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Strapped tight, ain't no joke. Got to hold steady, can't let it choke. Don't rock the safety boat. Keep it smooth, keep it afloat. Dance on that, but don't provoke. Don't rock the safety boat.
That's exactly what we're doing here, is rocking that safety boat here. So, we're going to rock the boat. We're going to do that with ancient safety professionals. What's good is that they're planned to be 2 minutes long, roughly, give or take, on every one of those episodes. So you can like and you can share them rather than the longer format that we're used to here. Anyway, let's go Department of Labor here. Okay. So Department of Labor, was one of the things we talked about yesterday. Again, we had a problem with internet here. Had some storms blowing through here, and we could not upload things last night. So we're uploading everything tonight. U.S. Department of Labor, but one of the things we were talking about last night was this whole thing with they're not releasing as many press releases, and this was for a New York-based safety group, safety trade organization, and they were complaining, right? U.S. Department of Labor Office of Inspector General jointly demand financial institutions freeze funds tied to pandemic unemployment fraud. U.S. Department of Labor and its Office of Inspector General today announced that they have jointly issued formal letters demanding that financial institutions immediately preserve funds held in prepaid debit card accounts linked to fraudulent unemployment insurance claims issued across many states during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a letter, Acting Secretary of Labor Keith Sonderling and Inspector General Anthony P. D'Esposito called on the financial institutions to freeze all identified accounts through December 31st, 2026, while federal investigators work to recover potentially fraudulent funds tied to pandemic-era UI schemes, unemployment insurance schemes. The action, in coordination with President Donald Trump's White House Task Force to Eliminate fraud led by our vice president seeks to prevent stolen taxpayer dollars from disappearing through state unclaimed property processes known as escheatment. Weird word there, never heard that. Escheatment. This is from Keith Sonderling, during the pandemic, criminals and bad actors exploited weaknesses to steal billions of dollars from the American public. Under President Trump's leadership, we have made it clear that those days are over. We are working with Vice President Vance to ensure that we use every tool at our disposal to track down stolen funds, hold fraudsters accountable, and return money to taxpayers. You know what? Had the election gone, right? I'll give credit where credit's due. Had the election gone the other way, I don't think this would have ever happened. And here's another shocker here. I'm shocked. Former union officials sentenced to probation for embezzling member funds through 51 unauthorized transactions over 2 years. Samantha Zirkle, barred from union office for 13 years, must pay more than $74,000. Former National Association of Letter Carriers Range 533 Treasurer Samantha Zirkle was sentenced to 6 years of probation and ordered to pay $74,663 in restitution following a federal investigation by the U.S. Department of Labor. The Department's Office of Labor Management Standards in Cincinnati found that Zirkle, while serving as treasurer of National Association of Letter Carriers Range 533, signed in cash at least 51 unauthorized checks worth $64,000 plus. The unauthorized checks were drawn from the union's account made payable to her for her personal benefit. I'm glad they caught her, but I'm sure this happens more often. This is only the ones that we catch. So, Samantha Zirkle, and this is from the Office of Labor Management Standards, Director Megan Ireland in Cincinnati. Samantha Zirkle's co-workers trusted her to maintain sound fiscal stewardship of the hard-earned dues, but instead she treated the union as her personal piggy bank. The Office of Labor Management Standards will continue to protect unions and their members by holding accountable anyone attempting to use their position for personal financial gain at the expense of union members. Why am I a little bit sarcastic on this one? This happened to my brother many, many years ago, where the union that he was a member of, the union official did this and worse. So, they're paying all these union dues, and what's the incentive here to not say anything? You don't want to, again, don't rock the safety boat. Well, don't rock the labor boat. They knew that this guy was doing all different kinds of shenanigans. Who's they? Leadership in the union and a lot of union members, because I worked with them for 3 summers and I heard things. So it's well known. There was some kind of shenanigans going on. They couldn't identify, but they knew there were shenanigans going on. Well, we can't say anything. Oh, God forbid we say anything. Right? We can't do that because we're gonna have a problem. Oh yeah, that's the incentive there. The unions are meant there, and what's disgusting is the unions are meant to protect the workers and their membership. And by extension, they protect all workers by their very existence. And for them to betray that trust is disgusting. Here. Oh, yeah. So what's the idea? Anybody who's representing you in labor, whether it's going to be your safety professional, looking out after your safety, and other people, your unions, trade groups, and everything, you got to keep a very short leash on these people. You really do. Right? In the weekend, in May 6th, and by the way, the ones that I've had to deal with, I'll say in the last 15, 16 years, been great people to deal with. Amazing people to deal with. I don't know what happened here, but the current union people I've had to deal with, phenomenal people. With that, looking after their membership and everything else there. However, the way it used to be, it was horrific. In the weekend in May 16, the advanced figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims, and this is for unemployment insurance weekly claims. So here we have, here they keep a running 1 year total, and look, this here, I'm going to share with you. I'm sorry I didn't share with you. Here it is. It's about where it always is, right? The moving average, right? Seasonally adjusted uninsured unemployment. Insured unemployment, guess what? All about the same. Really not moving anywhere. So what's my purpose of mentioning it? Well, guess what? Reality here. Because what do you hear on the news? Right? You hear this one, you hear this. Let me zip back. You hear this paragraph I'm highlighting right here. The first paragraph. You hear nothing else. And then they can spin it any way that they freaking want to. And we're not about that. So here we have EPA provides, right here, $232,000 in Illinois to monitor water quality at beaches and protect swimmers. Right. Illinois communities rely on vibrant lake shores, and it's advancing EPA's goals of enhancing cooperative federalism. Here we go. EPA provides $150,000 to Alaska to monitor water quality at beaches and protect swimmers. Dude. Okay. Today, the U.S. EPA is announcing a $150,000 grant and grant funding that Alaska will use to monitor water quality at beaches and notify the public if elevated levels of bacteria make swimming safe. EPA is investing, other than that show where they were mining gold in Alaska with Bering Sea gold. I'm hard pressed to think where you're going to be swimming in Alaska. Right? To be eligible for beach grants, states, tribes, and territories must have coastal or Great Lakes recreational waters adjacent to beaches or similar access used by the public. So here's from EPA Region 10, 150,219. Swinomish Indian Tribal Community, 50,000. In Washington State, 261. I'm hard pressed. Okay, we're going to do a Google search again. Okay, let's do this again. Let's see here. Let's do this. Swimming in Alaska. I'm sure some people, they use Alaska, they go on boats and everything. Yeah, obviously. Alaska. Do they have swimming? Okay, so this is from only in your state. Okay, I'm going to share this because I did not know this. People who say you're full of gluvno. Swimming in Alaska, this is from onlyinalaska.com, onlyinyourstate.com. I'm only in your state. So here we have, swimming in Alaska is certainly not for the faint of heart. Yeah, it requires thick skin, an adventurous personality, and the ability to throw all your inhibitions to the wind. With some super hot summer days in Alaska, swimming in the great outdoors is the quickest way to cool down or have a blast while doing so. So you have Wasilla Lake. I guess that's where the Palins live. Lake Wasilla. Venture into the lake for a picnic, and they have pictures here too. Paddle a kayak. Here we have Sheena Lake in the North Pole. With one of the greatest temperature swings on the planet, Fairbanks and its surrounding area, it's known to have pretty toasties, get pretty toasty in summertime on hot 80 or 90 degree days. Yeah, we had 103 here yesterday. A swim in Lake Sheena Lake is a must. Really? Lost Lake in the Kenai Peninsula. After a 7-mile hike into Lost Lake, it's not hard to be tempted to jump right in after working up a sweat. It's mighty cold, but it sure does feel good after a treacherous hike. Eagle and Symphony Lakes. Hanging Valley. Goose Lake in Anchorage. Okay, this one I knew about. Here, Goose Lake there. That one I knew about. here with that, now that I think about it. It's inside of Anchorage, swimming holes. Pacific Ocean in Ketchikan. The ocean in Alaska is never going to be warm, which is a good thing in retrospect. When it comes to swimming, you'll probably be much more comfortable with a wetsuit on. Okay, and here we go. Bering Sea in Nome, Alaska. When in Nome, hey, it gets hot in Nome. And honestly, there's no better place to cool off than the Bering Sea. And here we have Jewel Lake. I wonder if that has to do with a singer. I don't know. Jewel Lake, tucked away lovely south side of Anchorage, is a great lake which is perfect and convenient for cooling off on a hot Alaska day. And you have the Pacific Ocean in Seward. I was at Seward. I know Seward a little bit. We went there. And Arctic Ocean in Dead Horse. Now this all reminds me of a story with my uncle. My uncle says, and I was very early in my career, and I was stupid enough. I did not take the opportunity. I probably should have. Says, Jimmy, I heard of a job lead for you. I said, okay, where? You like the beach? I said, he has a marine company. I said, yeah, I like the beach. Yeah, you can be at the beach all year. Real beautiful. I said, okay. And then I thought, which beach? Right? And what time of year? I said, Alaska. Arctic Ocean beach. And I was like, oh, I don't think so, man. Now, definitely, I can't handle cold water. EPA cuts Vine-Era refrigerant rules, saving Americans over $2.4 billion, lowering food costs. Yet to be seen here. Have you gone shopping lately? Alongside President Trump in the Oval Office, U.S. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin today announced two actions that are together estimated to save American families and businesses $2.4 billion. The action's final rule, revisiting the Biden-Harris administration's 23 technology transitions rules and a proposed technical fix to the 2024 emissions reduction reclamation address, costly overreaching regulations. So what are they doing? They're going to exempt all, here, I got it right here, refrigerant transferent appliances from HFC leak repair requirements established in the 2024 ER&R rule, removing burdens for owners and major transfer operators of these appliances. The Biden administration made an error in its final 2024 rule, subjecting the refrigerant transfer sector to these leak requirements, even though it presents a low risk to human health. So they're going to save a lot of money, and we have the background here with that. Here we got another one for protect swimmers. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Here we have EPA drives next phase of lead paint and safety. EPA provides stuff to protect swimmers, protect swimmers, protect swimmers, protect swimmers, protect swimmers. And now we're going to go to the next page. Protect swimmers, on and on and on. All from today, We're going to go on. Now we get into yesterday. Drink lead in drinking water. Lead in drinking water. Lead in drinking water. On and on and on. Let me see. What's this about New Jersey? EPA announces $103 million to reduce lead in drinking water in New Jersey. So it's going to go into states through this investment will go directly to states through the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund and as part of EPA's unwavering commitment to making America healthy again. This funding will go toward finding and replacing lead pipes, also known as lead service lines, that deliver water to homes. Communities can use these funds for identifying lead pipes, planning removal projects, and funding replacement of these lead service lines. So lead is a powerful neurotoxin. Goes on and on. So let me comment on this. People don't realize in New Jersey, especially on the sewage lines, up until fairly recently, communities like Hoboken in New Jersey, where I used to live, they still had wooden sewage lines. Every once in a while, they have wooden supply lines in New York City. Well, for years they were digging up. Last one I heard was in the early 2010s, where they had wooden water pipes that were dug up, and they ended up in a museum. And now here is lead. I mean, I tell you what, my father's house way back in the day, did have lead effluent pipes. Not supply pipes. Effluent pipes for sewage. And I imagine there's a lot of stuff out there, especially back old housing, that does have this thing, right? So that's really information. 4 million lead service lines across the country. Wow. So this is pretty extensive. I wonder what percentage of that is. Got to be 3 or 4% minimum, I would think, in buildings. So that's what we got for tonight for Safety Wars. Here's the press release, right? With that, I believe it. Go on over to lead.gov, epa.gov, access lead. Right? And maybe we'll go through that one of these days with this. I'm going to say this much. If you are working on a site that has lead on it, it is critical. You're removing lead-based paint, it is critical you collect samples around the building before you step foot on the property. Just step foot on the property, collect samples, send them out for analysis. Because we got caught at a federal facility that had federal housing on it, where they tried to blame the contractor on lead contamination when it was pre-existing there. Oh, yeah. It's, with that. So I did a lead movie a couple years ago. Maybe we'll dig that up. We'll play it one of these nights. Anyway, for Safety Wars is Jim Poesl. And I, well, God willing, it's 3-day weekend, so you never know. I might be on the air with this. If not, go out and honor veterans this weekend. It is Memorial Day. Let me make a correction there. Honor fallen veterans. Memorial Day is for fallen veterans. Veterans Day is for living veterans.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.